session today, and those that are here in person and those that are joining us via Zoom. uh, Thank you very much. So hopefully everybody's trying to keep a little bit warm today. It's just a little bit chilly for March day. But anyway, we do have some updates this morning to share with you from the PAC, as well as welcoming some members of the faculty to give us updates as well. So let me get started with my updates. So my name is Maria, for those who don't know me or who I haven't met before, and I'm the president of PAC this year. So first update that I have is that the revised bylaws were approved and adopted, and you can view them on the IMSA PAC website, which is imsapac.org. And it is going to be under About Us and Bylaws and Mission. Okay. And also another exciting thing that we have coming up is the PAC Executive Board election. So hard to believe, but in just a couple of months, it will be the end of this school year. And so we will be welcoming a new class of parents and a new class of students soon enough. And so we are looking for some new executive board members for the incoming school year. And so how to do that is between now and March 31st, visit imsapac.org, and right on the homepage, you will see a registration form to put your information in to register as a candidate. And then in early April through April 29th, that's when voting will take place for those 4 available executive board positions. So how this year's election will work is that the voting form will be shared on the website, and each parent and guardian of an IMSA student will be able to vote for up to 4 candidates. And you'll also be asked to nominate candidates for junior and senior representative positions. So so just to let you know that part of the approved bylaws include a slight change to the executive board composition. So instead of an at-large member, moving forward, there will be the president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and those are all the elected positions. And then there will be 3 appointed positions, which is a sophomore parent representative, which we have currently, a junior parent representative, and a senior parent representative. So those 2 positions are going to be new. And all 7 of those executive board members will have voting rights on the executive board. So in early May, what will occur is after the elections finish up, the top 4 candidates that receive votes will form the incoming executive board. And from those incoming executive board members, they will decide amongst themselves which will take the different roles of president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. And then from that, they will start considering the junior and senior representative nominees. And also in May, what will take place is the transition between the outgoing executive board and incoming executive board. So the election results will be announced at the May PAC general session, which is on May 21st. So make sure to put that on the calendar. It's going to be a lot of fun because not only will we introduce the incoming board, but we'll also have a great way to wrap up the school year. And then July 1st is when the new board will assume their positions. So let me go back. So if you are interested in nominating yourself to serve on the PAC executive board, please again visit our website, imsapac.org. And if you have any questions, email election@imsapac.org. Feel free to put in the chat any questions that you might have, and we'll see if we can get that answered for you. Also, with the new bylaws, the new approved bylaws, again, the senior parent representative position has been added to the executive board. So we do have that opening for the remainder of the school year. So we are asking that if you're interested, if you're a parent of a senior, parent or guardian of a senior, to consider joining us, because even though it is close to the end of the school year, there's still a lot for parents of seniors that can be done. So some of the things that we've been doing with the other grades, and you've probably seen that from the email, the student affairs newsletter that came out, is that parents of sophomores have been having regular meetings as well as parents of juniors. So we will also have meetings with parents of seniors. So that's really once a month. And then also the senior parent representative, some of the other responsibilities are attending our executive board meetings, which is typically once a month. And then participating in these meetings, either in person or via Zoom. And also for the elections, helping out with the elections and ensuring that the elections are going smoothly for the upcoming school year. Because as a parent of a senior, you're least likely to be running for a position, so that's helpful in that election process. So as I pointed out, there are parent and guardian meetings coming up, and we have the parents and guardians of sophomores, March 16 at 7:30. The Zoom link is there. If you have any questions, contact Piyush at sophomore@imsapac.org. Parents of juniors, your meetings are going to be March 17 at 7 p.m. That's a Google Meet link. That link is in the calendar on imsapac.org. You can get that detail. And parents, guardians of seniors, your meeting is on March 31st at 7 p.m. and the Zoom link is there. So again, this slide deck and this presentation will be sent out to all of you. So feel free to either scan this QR code or you'll get these links also in the recap that's sent out. Also, Dr. Glazer is going to have some feedback and brainstorming sessions with parents. So he's interested in meeting with parents and guardians to discuss future priorities at IMSA. He's also interested in running a feedback and brainstorming session where you can share what's working, what you hope for IMSA, and ideas for advancing the Academy's strategic priorities. And these meetings are also split up by grade level. So if you're a parent or guardian of a sophomore, that meeting is March 30th at 7:30 p.m. The Zoom link is there. Parents of juniors, your meeting is at April 4th at 7:30 p.m. and parents of seniors is April 11 at 7:30 p.m. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at info@imsapac.org or put it in the chat, and we'll see if we can get that answered for you. Okay, and then also some parents have requested the opportunity to come and taste the food. There are, we've worked with IMSA to secure some dates where parents can come and try out either lunch or dinner. So those dates are Tuesday, March 15, Thursday, March 17, Tuesday, March 29, and Thursday, March 31st. So the time frame is 12:15 p.m. to 1:15 p.m. for lunch and 6:15 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. for dinner. So feel free to fill that out and let us know. And please wait for confirmation from us so that you know that you've received that and that you've got all the information you need for coming onto campus and trying out the meals. So you will be trying out the meals at the same time the students are. So you'll be seeing what their selections are and tasting that there, but the parents will be at separate tables from the students. So that's why we do ask that you sign up so that we can make sure, and spaces are limited, so please do so and sign up and let us know. Thank you. And also we are hosting an alumni panel in May. So that's why we invite you to come, not only for the PAC session, but also we've heard from parents that they were really curious to find out what students do after they leave IMSA. So this is a perfect time for you to come and hear directly from those who have attended IMSA, graduated from IMSA, and are now doing things post IMSA. So that will be right after our PAC session from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Saturday, May 21st. So also we are looking for students that have attended IMSA, that graduated from IMSA. So if you have a child that graduated from IMSA, or if you know of other graduates that might be interested in participating in the panel, please have them contact us at info@imsapac.org. So they will have the opportunity to attend either in person or via Zoom. So whichever is more convenient for them. And also, Brittany Walker just let us know that there is a parent spirit wear sale going on right now. So this is available through March 25th. So they have proud IMSA parent shirts, sweatshirts, and long sleeves available. So again, this is being organized by Brittany, so you can contact her, and her email is there. And you can also scan the QR code that will take you directly to that parent store. And the funds raised will be used for senior prom. And next we have updates from Jen Mock, our treasurer.
Good morning, all. If you go to the next screen for me, please.
Sure.
Okay, this is the income year-to-date budget. We're on track for our income. We're waiting for just a handful more of registrations for senior banquet. If you'll go to the next slide for me, please. This is our year-to-date expenses. We still have receipts coming in from all of our committees that we'll end up paying before the end of the year. If you'll go on to the next screen, please. Our current assets are 62,000, excuse me, our current assets are 85,199. That's 62,197 in our checking and 23,000 in our savings account. We haven't touched our reserves yet, but we may have to, depending on bus prices moving forward. We have made a payment for March for our inbound and outbound buses. And then I think we have one more trip scheduled. So if any region representatives are on the call today and they are reserving picnic sites, make sure to fill out that reimbursement form so I can pay you back for your reservations for your picnic sites for the summer. If you'll go on to the next one for me, please. The senior banquet, we are currently at capacity. So anybody who was on the wait list who did not get offers for tickets, you are currently on hold. If you have any seats becoming available, they will be for those who registered after February 2nd. And there's only going to be a handful of them, I think. So anybody who registered before February 2nd, we're already offered extra tickets, and we are currently at capacity. So if you do get an email from me, it will you'll need to respond as soon as possible to secure your tickets if we have any seats come available. Also, I wanted to mention that currently on our website, the times on our website on our calendar are an hour off due to daylight savings time. If you have your calendar, personal calendar synced to our calendar on the website, those times are correct. But for some reason, daylight savings time is just throwing our website calendar into a spin. So after tomorrow, those times should adjust, but just be aware of that. For instance, lunch is posting like at 11:15 instead of 12:15. Those available slots, but they will be adjusted after tomorrow. And that's it for me.
Thank you very much. Sorry. Okay, we'll get this working. Thank you very much, Jen, for your updates. Okay, and then next we will have our committee updates. So first we will have student life, and we actually have some of our committee chairs here joining me at the table today. So, yay.
Hey everybody, this is Susan. Ellen and I are the co-hosts of Student Life. So I wanted to share with everyone that we're going to be celebrating Pi Day on Monday. Beautiful stone. Look, it's up here. We've got these cute little individual pies that are going to get delivered to every student at IMSA. So tomorrow we're going to start distributing them to all the halls. We've got pecan, blueberry, apple. It says lemon, but actually it ended up being cherry, but I'm sure that won't be minded. So happy Pi Day to all. We were able to get donations to cover the full cost, so it's not costing PAC or parents anything for this. So it's pretty cool. In April, we're talking about some kind of egg hunt or any other activity, since it's going to be a bit nicer. Either hiding candy and eggs and hiding it outside or somewhere around campus so the kids can go on a kind of an egg hunt together, or tickets and then setting up a prize table. So we're talking about a glow in the dark egg hunt at night, which I think would be very cool, seeing as though I know at least my son is staying up later and later and later at night every time. So might be a fun thing to do as well. If you go to the next slide. Wing parents are also able to reserve a space to hold events inside the main campus now. Reservations, yeah, yay. Reservations do have to be made and coordinated through your wing RC. So make sure you keep in close contact with them. And if together you want to hold events inside the main campus, not the residence hall, you can do so by making a reservation through them. That's it for us. Oh, next page. If you want to contact us, the email is studentlife@imsapac.org. You can get to Ellen and I either that way. We do have a wing parent Facebook page where we like to share ideas about what's happening and what's going on in other wings. And as always, understanding IMSA lingo, there's a link there just to understand what acronyms your kids are using.
Thank you very much, Student Life. And thank you because Susan had shared the picture of her car with all these pies filled to the brim in her car. So these students are going to have a lot of fun with all this this sugary goodness.
28 cases of pies. Yeah.
28 cases of pies. So if anybody's hungry, you know whose card it is.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Thank you very much. Okay, and next we have Friday Fest and our other chairs here. Carrie.
Good morning. This is Carrie from Friday Fest. Next slide, please. The last Friday Fest of the season or the school year was held last night. I wanted to thank all of the families that donated food items. We really appreciate it. I also wanted to thank the student volunteers. They were absolutely amazing. They ran the entire event. And when they checked back in with us at the end of the night, they said each of the halls, they had leftovers. So that was great. So it went over very well. Next slide, please. So the next event that Friday Fest does is we are assisting the CAB for luau. We are going to be providing a full meal for all 650 students. And in order for this to be successful, we need lots and lots and lots and lots of parents to help out. Some of the things I wrote on here, we do have a luau subcommittee that we started. We're going to meet 4 times before the event. Please consider joining if you live close to IMSA, because we're going to need parents to come and set up, to help serve, and then to clean up afterwards. If you'd like to cook, we would love to have you. If you have connections at restaurants or catering companies and you're able to get free or discounted food, that would be a bonus. And even if you're none of these things, like me, but you love an IMSA student and you still want this end of the year celebration to be really, really special, we'd still love to have you. Like I said, right now, I've never seen a luau in person, and we're trying to do the kind of luau we had pre-COVID. So it's overwhelming and I'm a little scared, but I think it's going to be great. Like I said, though, we just need lots of parents to chip in and help. And then one more slide, please. And here's a little more information about the luau subcommittee. We're going to meet on 4 Tuesdays at 7 o'clock via Zoom. And if you'd like to join, feel free to shoot us an email at fridayfest@imsapac.org, and I can send you the link directly. An email went out actually this morning with the same information on it, and there's also information on the PAC Facebook page. I think that's everything.
Thank you very much. So yes, everybody, please come and join for the luau and help out. As she mentioned, if you want to add any of these events to your calendar, you can find it on imsapac.org, and you can download those events that you are interested in directly to your calendar. Okay, next we have Nisha and Rhoda from Senior Banquet Committee.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to go to the next slide for me, please. Okay, all right. So we have about 600 registered guests now. So we are at the capacity, like Jen mentioned. So we are definitely looking for volunteers. Please, we will start our meetings from Tuesdays, every other Tuesday, March 15th at 7 via Zoom. So you can see the PAC calendar for more details. If you have not sent your seniors pictures, please do that. We have extended the deadline till March 15th. Also we wanted to mention we are allowing to accommodate some of the students who are coming with some of the families that they want to sit. So we will accommodate that request. So I just wanted to mention all that. We are very excited for the senior banquet and for the seniors who will be graduating this year. And it is at Embassy Suites in Naperville on June 3rd. We also, can you scroll to the next slide, please? All right. So we do have registration and gift handling leads, which is Juicer and Shalini. Decoration, we have Jill and Carmen. Slideshow handling, we have Rakesh. We need some folks for marketing and for transportation help. Most likely the IMSA, IMSA will have registration on the week of June 3rd that they will have to put in if they are coming via bus from IMSA for transportation. So that will be out on the week of June 3rd. For those students who want to come, plus the musicians. We do have volunteer opportunity for the students on the day of the event. So just, Rhoda Matson or I can sign on it. Do consider your student to have this volunteering opportunity. And if so, you can contact us at Senior Banquet. Can you go ahead and scroll to the next page, please? If you have any questions, please contact us. Any questions, anyone? All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks. And Nisha, just to clarify, the volunteer opportunities are for the sophomore and junior students, correct?
Correct, for sophomore and junior. Yeah, no seniors. They will be inside. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Thank you. And next is regional representatives. So just wanted to let you all know that we reached out to the current regional representatives to see if they'll be staying on in the role next year and to get the ball rolling on scheduling summer picnics. So if you are a regional representative this year, please check your email and reply back if you haven't done so, just to let us know one way or the other if you are continuing on as a regional representative. And if you're interested in getting involved as a regional representative or to help your region, please send an email to regionchair@imsapac.org. So we know that it's been a few years since the regional picnics have happened in the capacity pre-COVID. So typically what happens is that picnics are held in the different regions, and we did have some this past summer as well, but usually it's per region, and it's a way for families to get together before school starts again. So it's a great way for families who have met in the past to reconnect, and those who are new to IMSA to also meet some new families. So again, email regionchair@imsapac.org if you're interested in getting involved. Thank you. And these are the different regions. Just in case you didn't know which region you're in, this is how the regions are split up. So there are 10 regions within the state. Okay, next we have the principal's office, Dr. Comfort Agwaji Anderson.
Okay, I am going to share my screen. So give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. Uh-oh, can someone allow me to share my screen, please? Yes, tell me that it's disabled.
You should be good to go now, Dr. Agwaji.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. All right. Now I am going to go ahead. All right, let me do this. Okay. All right, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. Well, good morning, everyone. It's good to see you all virtually, of course. So I am going to share quite a bit today as opposed to in the past, maybe, because I'm going to provide some updates and some reminders. And then I'm also going to address the questions that you all had from the survey that the PAC, academic PAC team leaders conducted with you all. So yes, it's going to be a little bit. And then of course, later on, we are going to have the SIR panel, which is also part of responding to the questions that you all had. So we're going to go right ahead. I'm going to start with some updates here. And I have Ms. Martinez, you all know she's my assistant. I'm going to let her do this slide. So Mara, are you there?
Yes, good morning,
Um,
everyone. Just a little bit of an update on graduation. We will have a formal letter going out to all students, but we wanted to make sure to address you first here. Next week, we will probably send out the electronic information. We have minimal information at this time, of course, due to guidelines, but the graduation ceremony, the commencement ceremony will take place on June 4th at 3:30 p.m. We will have that ceremony at Northern Illinois University in DeKalb. Students will pick up their caps and gowns closer to the ceremony, and that will happen at IMSA. So they will have those with them. And we did have a few questions from parents that if cap and gowns are required. Yes, every student who participates in graduation must wear an IMSA cap and gown, which can be purchased at Herff Jones. And the last check that I did with Herff Jones, I think there were only 4 seniors who have not purchase them, but we are working with those families. We do not know the number of tickets that will be allocated to each family at this time. Northern will let us know closer to that area, but there's ample room there. So we're hoping to remain with a good number of tickets for each family as we did last year. Last year, the families were in pods, so we adhered to all the social distancing that needed to take place, but we will not have those numbers until a little later, but we will definitely reach out to all the parents to inform you how many tickets each family will receive. And those tickets will be mailed directly to the families. We know there are different situations for every household, so please feel free to reach out to me later once we have that communication on any special circumstances that are. So I don't want anybody to be nervous that they will not have their tickets in hand by the ceremony. We will coordinate with the Office of Student Affairs and make sure that all our events are coordinated. We have rehearsal the day prior. So Friday, June 3rd will be the rehearsal. On June 4th, the ceremony will take place, but prior to that, there will be a move out. There will be a brunch for families and students. And then the students will board the buses to NIU and the buses will not return. So we want to make sure that, you have your move out, your child gives everything to you that they need, and then you will then meet back at NIU. The buses will not return with students to IMSA. And at this time, there will be no pictures taken inside or outside of the venue. We have to adhere to state guidelines, but as we get closer to the ceremony, I'm hoping that things will change, so they will provide us with updates. Last year, we received the same guidelines that we could not take pictures inside or outside the venue, and by the date of the ceremony, I think they were allowed to take pictures outside. So we'll just keep an eye on that and we'll keep you informed. And like I said, next week, we will send out a formal invite to all senior parents, just because we know not all attended the PAC meeting. And I look forward to working with you all if you have any questions. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Moira, for those updates. All right. Next, I am going to, let's see. My screen, it looks like it's frozen. let me try this one more time. Okay, here we go. So Maria already, invited you all to volunteer to participate and be part of the PAC, of officers and things like that. I'm personally putting in a plug for the academic PAC because I really enjoy meeting with them. And it's very important to me that I hear directly from you all regarding concerns that you may have related to academics or suggestions that you have for improvement. So I'm personally putting in a plug for you all to please consider volunteering to serve as an academic PAC. So thank you for that. The next thing that I want to talk about is, again, move right into addressing your concerns. So in the survey that the academic PAC had conducted with you all, the results actually grouped the concerns. And so I'm going to be addressing some of the groups. One of the biggest, the largest one was moving and learning. So I thought that it would be good to first define for you or explain what that is all about before anything else. So the moving and learning class, that's why it's not called PE. The moving and learning class is designed to help our students to become physically educated individuals who have the knowledge, the skills, and the abilities to enjoy a lifetime of physical activity. So we use terms like wellness for that reason. It's science-based, it's a science-based curriculum with emphasis on, again, the physical dimension of wellness and the interrelationship between all of those dimensions. It's concept-driven and proficiency-based graded. And I'll talk about that because you all had lots and lots of questions related to how they grade. It involves physical activity and how to monitor and adjust activities for healthy well-being. And I'm providing this information, but if you have additional questions, you definitely can contact the teachers so that they can give you more information. So the first concern was the lack of clarity around the objectives of and the expectations of the course. So the teachers actually hand out a syllabus that contains all the course objectives and expectations. And then they continue to discuss those things. They discuss those at the start of class and then throughout the course. So every single day, they discuss, for example, what they're going to be focusing on that day and how it connects to the larger picture and the things that they're working on throughout the semester. Each class has a flip chart. I'll show it to you in a little bit. And they have some groupings, and the kids, the students put their backpacks, for example, when they come to class, they have areas where they put their backpacks. They know where those are. I've been to the class more than once. So when I get concerns from you all, I investigate. So they know where to put their items, and then they'll have the students actually walk and talk. They'll give them a topic or an assignment or something for them to walk and talk about. And then they have announcements, and they'll let them know when an assessment is due, if it's something that they're going to do in class or something that they actually would take home, of course, to their dorms and do. They let them know that. They also verbally, of course, welcome the students and tell them what they need to do. They have a whiteboard on the wall where they also put information on it. And then, of course, on top of that, they have the canvas. They have canvas where they put announcements and other things that they want for the students to know. All right. I mentioned that there was a chart. This is an example of the chart that they actually have on the wall. ML is just moving and learning. So for a particular day, they will put instructions, expectations and things like that so that the students know what they need to be doing and what they're expected to know, for example. There's a lot of information on there, but again, like I said, if you need some more specific, feel free to ask the teachers, and I'll share the slides with you all so that, you can go back and reference them. And if you have more questions, you can ask. Okay. Sorry, I'm flipping through this. It's going too faster than I want. Okay, so here's some other examples of some expectations. For example, if they're going to do a warm-up at the beginning of class, the teachers will put all the information related to what they need to be doing with the warm-up. It's 5 to 10 minutes, no muscle fitness and things like that. And then they also have, I also have an example of student work. You know, it shows you the kinds of things that the students do in the class. So again, it's not just a PE class, it's a wellness class, and it's, you know, science-based and informed, and research-based and informed, of course. All right. The second concern had to do with inconsistency in the grading. This was a huge one. So wellness is the only department that's entirely, they use what we call proficiency-based grading. They have 2 faculty members. That would be Dave and Mary, Miss Myers and Mr. Longren. So they co-teach the class actually. And so both of the instructors, of course, they design and discuss each lesson. They lead and teach each lesson. They create all of the assignments together. They do all of the grading together, and they discuss, you know, points that they're assigning to the students. And they actually use a rubric. I'll show you an example in a little bit. So it's not just like, you know, the traditional approach to grading. They meet with all of the students. I mean, all of the students. I have evidence of that. And then they design their course on Canvas like the other teachers do. All right, here's an example. I'm sorry if you can't see it very well. This is an example of the rubric, of a rubric used. So they happen to be focusing on food labels. That was the concept that they were working on. And as you can see here, they indicated what the expectations were. So a score of 4.0, so that's, again, that's the rubric. And, you know, that a student who scores that is highly proficient. And so it describes what that means. As you can see, they really provide details in regards to what that would look like. The student will, so a student who scores 3.0 is proficient. That means the student will appropriately explain the nutritional value of the products and be able to articulate their rationale for selection. And then if you look on the right side of my screen, I have a grading scale. It tells you how this translates into the traditional grading that most of us are used to. So again, they use a proficiency grading, which is a little bit different than the traditional grading, but they still translate that into the scores that most of us are familiar with. Again, if you have questions or concerns, please be sure you get in touch with the teachers. All right, moving right along. The third concern that you all had related to moving and learning was a delay in entering scores in Power School. So the teachers, I checked with the teachers, and this is something that we've been dealing with. So because of COVID, you know, the multiple absences that have contributed to this setback in making sure that the grades are uploaded, or they're there when students or you think that they should be there. So if a student is absent due to COVID for some reason, and they have an assessment that they're not quite done with, that delayed the teachers being able to upload their score into Power School. So that was part of the delay. The work's not given back to students until, you know, students have submitted the assessment. So, and then scores are entered in Power School again after students have received their graded work. You know, the work has been given back to them and submitted. So again, that's the reason why you see those delays. And again, if that's going on, send them an email and they'll let you know why the grade has not been uploaded. Related to that, physical activity. So for the 2021-2022, the classes are shorter. And again, it's because of COVID. We had to, for those of you who have had students at IMSA, a month used to be 55 minutes, and now they're 45. So that actually has contributed to the way that we grade and what happens with, entering things in Power Schools and that kind of thing. So they provided some additional information related to the physical activity and the expectations for students when they actually engage in physical activity. So as you can see on the screen there, those are some of the expectations. They make it very clear so that students know. And all of this, of course, counts towards their grade and the grades being entered in Power School. All right, you also had questions about the SAT. Actually, I'm going to back up a little bit because you had questions about, I think I skipped a slide here. You had questions about world languages. And that's one that we get a lot of questions around. So your question, one of your questions was, why can't students take heritage language? So basically, teaching and learning heritage speakers is very different than teaching a foreign language. So it's not like Spanish 1, it's not the same thing. So we have historically not offered that at IMSA. I'm not saying we'll never do that, but I just had to answer the question that you asked. Why can't we staff based on demand for classes? Well, the demand varies by year. And so, for example, incoming sophomores demand may not reflect the tracks that the juniors and seniors are already on. So it's not as easy as saying, we just staff based on demand. So it's more complicated than that. Why can't students have whatever class they pick? So that they're not feeling that like they're being forced into a language. So we require just 2 years of a language course. And so, there's a defined number of seats available. And again, because we have, depending on the language, so German, we have 1 teacher. Spanish, we have 2 teachers. French, we have 2 teachers. Right now, Russian, we have 2 teachers. Of course, we're going to be phasing that out. So again, I know you might be saying, well, why can't we hire more teachers? It's not as easy as that. And so again, it just depends. And of course, we will, depending on the needs that we have, our job is always to serve our students. So, but again, I'm trying to answer your questions that you had asked. So I wanted to go back to that world languages slide right there, and then I'm going to try to get through the rest of them quickly. So let me get to my next one, which is SAT. So for 2022, the SAT is not required. I think this is something that most of us know is not required to apply, but the SAT test is required for admitted IMSA students to be submitted for their student file. So, it's not necessarily, we have to have that in order to admit them. We're looking at other things. The applications without SAT scores at the time of review will not negatively have any impact for those students who are unable to test. So because we know that sometimes they may have an issue finding a testing site and that kind of thing. Students who choose not to submit the SAT scores as part of their application file are not penalized. So just wanted to make sure that we all are aware of that. The admission process will continue to focus on grades, teacher evaluations, student activities, and interests, and students' essays. So we're taking a holistic approach to looking at students. And I want you to rest assured it's not just an IMSA thing. A lot of schools across the nation are doing something similar. So not to worry, because I know your concern is my student going to get into Harvard or into whatever school they want to go to? Historically, we have not had an issue with that. And, not having the SAT scores and that kind of thing is not going to negatively impact that. So just wanted to share that with you all. All right. You also had questions about the CWRA Plus. Your first question was, what is it actually measuring and what is the connection to student performance? So it measures critical thinking skills, looking at real world problem solving and performance tasks. It also enables IMSA to better understand how well our students are learning critical thinking skills, because that's something that we pride ourselves in. And so it provides a snapshot of proficiency, growth, and program efficacy. So that's one of the things that the CWRA Plus does. Another question you had was, how compatible, if at all, is it to the SAT in terms of looking at student progress and growth? Okay, I overdid it here because you don't need all of this information that I put on here, but in a nutshell, the very last bullet here says SAT is not a good measure of IMSA students' growth. Students enter IMSA at already high levels on SAT. So we don't use it necessary to look at student growth. But it, again, like I said, we focus on critical thinking. All right. You also had questions about the AP courses, AP placement. So the College Board has a set it's a set published curriculum for all of the AP courses available on their website. And we don't do anything with that. The College Board actually creates all of that. The AB test is different than the BC test. The AP test, according to the College Board, does this, and I bolded this. It says it will test your understanding of the mathematical concepts covered in the course units, as well as your ability to determine the proper formulas and procedures to use to solve problems and communicate your work with the correct notation. So it is designed to actually assess knowledge of AP calculus curriculum. And it also has a reputation for assessing both conceptual and procedural knowledge of the material quite well. So under normal circumstances though, because with COVID, they had to tweak some things. Also, you had a question about the connection to student performance. So in regards to our IMSA students, our students do not all take an AP calculus exam. So no such correlation has ever been formally examined. And so it doesn't measure student learning. Basically what we do is we just report it out. So the students who actually take it, they can take it here, but we just report out, how they did, but we don't use it for, for anything IMSA. How comparable, if at all, is it to the SAT in terms of looking at student progress and growth? The AP exam was not designed to measure progress on the SAT. So it's a measure of students' knowledge of calculus. It does not test topics in prerequisite courses directly, but naturally, of course, there are some calculus topics that you cannot master without the prerequisite knowledge and skills. So, since you were asking about progress and growth, I just put that in there just to, help make the point that it could help in a way, but the SAT was not, is not comparable to AP. And basically, the AP courses are to get college credit. So that's it for that. Any questions that you have, related to this, again, send them my way. Make sure that you talk to teachers, since we had a lot of questions related to moving and learning. Be sure that you shoot them an email if you have additional questions. And then at 11 o'clock, we're going to have the panel, the SIR panel, that will focus on addressing your questions related to SIR. So thank you so very much.
Dr. Kwati Anderson, there's a
Yes.
question in the chat that says, good morning, does IMSA offer special sessions for juniors to help them study more before taking the school day SAT in April?
if we offer special sessions,
For top study for the SAT that the juniors will be taking on campus in April.
so we always offer resources. We may not necessarily offer study sessions per se, but we always offer resources for students to study, and of course, space. In fact, I think we shared this with you all, maybe not, but Ms. Berger and I worked on this collaboratively. We now have someone that we hired to actually be on campus at night, actually in the evenings, in our IRC or media center. If students need to go reserve a room or just go study in the evening or something like that, they can do that. If they're specifically studying for the SAT, we not only provide the space, but we also provide resources for them to use to study.
Okay, thank you. And Yulia is here too, and she said she'll cover some. Would you like to come up and, okay. So
I was
Yulia,
just about to say, Julia has lots and lots of information about that. And so Julia would answer a lot of questions that maybe I have not even covered.
okay.
So I
she's-
will answer the quick question about whether or not we prepare our students for the SAT. We do not, for two reasons. Well, for one big reason. We require all of our sophomores to take PSAT 10, and then we require all of our juniors to take PSAT and MSQT in October. So in essence, the SAT that all of our juniors take will be the third time taking the same test again and again and again. So P stands for preliminary or practice. So SAT is just a little bit longer version of the PSAT. So that's the reason why we do not offer any prep in SAT. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Julia.
I'm not sure. I just have to go back and look at our data because my office oversees the AP registration. I believe that every single student who's enrolled in BC Calc or AP Calc is registered to take at some point an AP exam. So in essence, I would be surprised to see the difference between number of students enrolled in BC3 and the number of exams I just brought. So I believe it's every single student.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any questions in regards to what Dr. Akwaji Anderson and Yulia covered so far? Okay. Thank you. And thank you for that information, Dr. Akwaji Anderson.
No
And
problem.
as she brought up, all of this conversation that took place today came from the work of the academic committee, from the PAC academic committee. So both of the co-chairs are parents of seniors this year. So please, we are asking for parents to step up and volunteer for next year. It would be great to see a mix of parents. So if there are parent of a sophomore, parent of a junior, parent of a senior next year. And again, they do work closely with Dr. Akwaji Anderson and her office to help to get some of the questions that you might have brought forth so that this information can be shared to all of you.
Yeah. Maria, one of the things that I want to suggest is that I really like what you said about, and I'm saying this because of, Mujul and Gabriela, who are not going to be here next year. I'm going to propose, and you all, you don't have to agree with me, but I'm going to propose that we have a representative from, the sophomore, junior, and senior parents. That way, for continuity purposes, we'll always have someone who is going to be there every year. So that would be a suggestion for who we're going to get to participate on the academic PAC committee.
Thank you very much. And Gabrielle is here, and I just wanted to confirm with both you and Dr. Akwaji Anderson, for the most part, you all meet once a month, correct, with Dr. Akwaji Anderson? So just to let all of you know who might be interested in taking on the co-chair role, it's not too much of a time commitment. Okay, so according to Gabrielle, there's usually like 2 meetings, one that you would meet with your co-chairs, and then one where you meet with Dr. Akwaji Anderson, and then obviously just share the updates here at the sessions, and that can be done also via Zoom or if you provide the slides. So again, thank you for that partnership between Dr. Akwaji Anderson's office, the principal's office, and the academic committee. And also thank you to all the parents and guardians who did fill out that survey to let your opinions and feedback known. Okay, so next we've got Katie Berger from the Student Affairs Office to give updates.
Good morning, and I'm looking at the time, so I'm probably going to be a little bit shorter than usual, and I'm happy to answer any questions via chat as well. I did hear the Friday Fest committee mention that they have never been a part of an in-person luau before, and that commitment to making it really wonderful for the students, and I thank you for that. It also is a good reminder for all of us that we are about to enter the time at which no current IMSA student has ever been on campus and seen the events in person. And so that is a really exciting thing for us. And it's also something that is giving us a little bit of pause as we plan, because we know students are so involved in really leading a lot of the student activities. So just thought I would kind of pin that for all of you. The Student Affairs newsletter was sent out on Thursday, which was March 10th, so feel free to scan your inbox, search your inbox for that. There was a typo on there, and my apologies for that. If you were a sophomore parent, you'll want to prick your ears up. The typo is related to SLX, which stands for the Student Leadership Exchange. That is the capstone experience related to the LEAD program. It says April 17th. It is actually April 27th, which is a Wednesday, the last Wednesday of April. That is a required program for all of our sophomore students to complete the LEAD program. And it is in conjunction with our Hollister lecture, which again is required for all sophomores, but open to all students. A couple of the other things I want to highlight quickly from that, we are asking students, or reminding students, I should say, to please wear their student IDs. We are running into some issues where students are not wearing their IDs, and they're needed for some essential day-to-day tasks, including scanning into the cafeteria. So if you can remind your student to please wear their ID. For our seniors, it's kind of a fun thing as they're starting to decide where they're going to school, maybe get a lanyard from their school. We also have lanyards and all kinds of different little gadgets to affix your ID to yourself in the Student Life office. So swing by if they need one, or feel free to use it to kind of show your personality a little bit. That's what I like to do. As well as with the IDs, please remind your student that if they see somebody without an ID, they really shouldn't be holding the door for them, as we have increased the number of doors that students are able to enter and exit through. We have some very thoughtful and kind students, which you should all be very proud of as parents and guardians. And they're holding the doors for some people that really need to be funneled through security and let in through that main entrance. So please remind your student, wear that ID. And also, let's not be holding the door for people that we don't know who aren't wearing that credential. I'm going to put in the chat some information about our BitCare team. I was going to ask you some questions related to that and share some more information. I may have to wait until the next meeting, but really want to make you all aware of another best practice that we are adopting at IMSA, something that is a best practice really at colleges and universities, and happens sometimes in K through 12, but less so, which is really identifying a team of people who are available to identify students who may need some additional supports and resources, and then ensure that those interventions occur. I'm telling you all as parents about this because really I want to invite you into that joint responsibility of sharing. If you're identifying some changing behavior in your student or you have any concern, let us know. And this is really an opportunity for us to connect them with resources and make sure that they are physically healthy, mentally healthy, that they are in a good living environment. And happy to share more about that at a future meeting, but at minimum, let's get the information to you today so you can do some self-study. We do have a Board of Trustees meeting this coming Wednesday, and the deep dive discussion will be with our school counselors related to student social, emotional health and wellness. I can tell you the number of students coming to see our counselors was way, way, way up this fall, and we are really continuing to enhance services, modify programs in response to the needs of students. So if that is of interest to you, then certainly please check that out. And as far as meetings, Monday after school, we have a senior meeting. So senior parents, this is when your ears can perk up. Please encourage your senior to attend. They probably know about it because a lot of really exciting information is going to be shared at that point in time. And I would encourage you over spring break to have some conversations with your seniors about their last quarter. Remind them that service hours are required for graduation. there's always a couple of kids that are surprised about that at the end of senior year. And we're like, I think we've talked about this so many times. So please remind your student, check and see in Power School where they're at. Talk to them about class attendance at the end of the year. Our students are smart and they start to think about, attendance point wise, I could miss a couple of classes or be late to a couple of classes and still be okay. And I have seen some second semester seniors really miscalculate or calculate well, but then have a day where they oversleep or they're running late. And then it creates a situation where they are at risk of a withdrawal with a failing grade from a class. And so we want our students to enjoy that last quarter of senior year and still maintain some of those academic responsibilities. So have some of those conversations with your student if you haven't already. Some of you may need to encourage them to, stay focused. Some of you may say, it's okay if you relax a little bit. You've worked hard for 2.5 years, enjoy this last semester. You all know your children. So my encouragement is really just that you're having a conversation. And on a personal note, I just want to mention last week was Clash of the Halls. I'm sure you all know that. I'm sure you all know what color your student's hall was and about the different activities that were happening. Ask your student about it. It is really, I was on campus on Thursday night for pep rally, as was Dr. Akwashi Anderson. And I told my husband that it's like IMSA students at their best. They're happy, they're coming together, they're celebrating each other. I mean, we have no sore losers in Clash of the Halls, at least not outwardly that I see. And I saw Jerry's name on the agenda. So Jerry, if you're here, just outstanding job as CAB director. It was a really fun week, and your students are going to be tired. They're going to be tired, especially with this week being the last week of the quarter, but just want to encourage you to have that conversation with your students and again, share from my perspective what a wonderful time it was Thursday night seeing all of them together. So I'll hang out, I'll mute myself, I'll hang out and answer questions via chat, and we'll be available that way to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those updates, Katie. We really do appreciate it. And next we have updates from the College and Academic Counseling Department, CAC, Ms. Yulia Yusin.
Oh, thank you. I did send my slide. Yes. Did you again?
Yes.
All right. Okay, very good. So they're all now together, which is fine. We have one webinar that's coming up in April for senior year. So all college admission decisions will be right now sent by colleges during the month of March. And then on April 7th, senior parents can tune into the webinar to now compare the financial offers and make sure that
we're not able to hear you very well.
Okay, sorry, hold on. Let me, let me.
Is there a mic? Yeah.
should I be facing this way or that way?
Hold on, I'm going to, sorry for the feedback. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this is any better. Okay, I'll start again. All right, so we will be offering a financial aid webinar for senior parents on April 7th. And as I mentioned before, all college admission decisions will be arriving within the next 2 weeks. And so then on April 7th, parents can log in and listen to the webinar and then, clearly meet with the CAC if needed. Who are more than willing, able, and happy to meet with parents to help them understand financial aid offers and help them decide on which college makes sense to attend. So that's coming in April 7th. I will be sending a newsletter right probably at the beginning of April. I'm not sure yet when. Now, we just met with 216 sophomores and 211 juniors. So we were just busy last 2 weeks. So all student requests are queued in Power School. Remember the way we do scheduling at IMSA, it's not a human touch. It's a Power School that runs the schedule based on student requests. So just about every single student gave us 2 choices for English, 2 choices for math, well, not for the core math, but 2 choices for electives in science, history, and so on. And so the Power School is going to run the schedule, and usually students see their schedule right around 4th of July. That was pre-COVID. So hopefully we're all getting back into that kind of a pre-COVID mode where all of our students, juniors and seniors, rising juniors and rising seniors, will see their schedules in July. So as you know already, we will have 2 tests that are mandatory tests that we were told by the Illinois State Board of Education to administer to our sophomores and to our juniors.
We decided to run those tests on the same day simply because we need to have a bigger space and, you know, there's shortage of bigger spaces at IMSA. So the SAT will be delivered in the morning on April 13th to all juniors, and we will oversee that administration. By the way, I mean the CAC office. We're going to proctor, we're going to make sure that everything is delivered. The PSAT 10 will be administered in the afternoon, and our faculty is going to get a bigger lead in that. So we will provide all the exam materials, but the faculty will actually serve as proctors, not us. So that's coming on April 13th. Now, if you're a parent of a junior, you know that we're meeting with all of our juniors right now for family college conferences. If you haven't scheduled one yet, make sure that you reach out to your students' CAC. All family college conferences absolutely must be done by April 23rd, which is our college day, which is actually why I'm here in person, to make sure that we kind of remember what the college day means and what kind of a help we're asking from you. So the college day is on April 23rd. So to give you a sense what we're dealing with right now. So this year is the first year where high schools are inviting colleges back. This is the first year the colleges are traveling back. So our regular attendance at the normal pre-COVID college day would be between 70 and 80 colleges will come to IMSA. There will be a keynote address delivered by Dean of Admission at the beginning, a college fair, and then some colleges will do classroom presentations. So far we have about 45 colleges sign up, which is kind of not bad. Our registration will be ending next Friday. So on Monday, we're going to follow up with some colleges that we really would like to see on campus. They haven't signed up yet. So it's going to be in person. The keynote address will be delivered at 9 o'clock by the Dean of Admission from University of Urbana-Champaign, a very popular school with IMSA students. I will send detailed information to all parents. This year, we decided not to invite sophomore parents to the college day, simply because, you know, it's still COVID. We're still restricted in terms of how many, you know, capacity. We will hopefully be able to invite, well, all of our juniors, obviously, you know, 200 and how many do we have? 211 juniors hopefully will be attending. We're hoping to invite at least one parent per junior family. So we will have 211 juniors plus 211 parents, but there is a chance we will invite all junior parents. We don't know that yet. However, when it comes to the volunteers, we always ask for sophomore volunteers, and here's the reason why. The volunteers help us check out the admission rep, and the checking out process can last from 8 o'clock all the way until 10 o'clock when actually the fair starts. So the sophomore parents who oversee that process will never be able to listen to the keynote address, which is fine, they're sophomore parents. So we still would like to have 5 sophomore parents. So even though sophomore parents will not be invited to attend college day, but we would like to have 5 sophomore parents volunteers helping us oversee the registration process for our rep, as well as for the parents of our own juniors. So if, I don't know who, Kyle wrote to me, said he will take care of it, that would be great. So if you can send me personally the names, but not just individual parent writing to me, because then I don't know, was it through the PAC or is it the parents, you know, volunteering on his own accord? If somebody can oversee that, if Kyle can do that, that would be great.
So
Yeah.
if you're interested, please email VP, so like Vice President at imsapac.org. Again, that's VP@imsapac.org. Kyle, our VP, is the one coordinating that.
Perfect. So we would like 5 names, and then I will reach out to those 5 parents, and I will give them precise instructions what we would like for them to do. That's my first request. My second request is always in the past, while we partnered with Sodexo Lexington this time to offer beverages and like wonderful bread that they bake. I mean, they would just make like cranberry bread and banana bread. It was just absolutely wonderful. So Lexington doesn't bake anything apparently, but Lexington would like to do something for us. So we're still in the process of talking to Lexington and seeing if there's anything you can do for us, because our college representatives come arrive at 8, leave at noon. I mean, they gotta eat something. It's so the way it worked in the past, so they actually would bake, bring coffee, tea, juices, and it will be all situated at the gym, like in front of the main gym. We have this kind of a half circle, you know, like a little thing, kind of like a little alcove or something. So they will be behind that little alcove, you know, serving. And the PAC was always so gracious to provide us with coupons. So we would print our own coupons that will allow all of our reps to have one coffee and one little bread for the college day. And then Sodexo always collected those coupons, and then based on that, just billed you. So we are really, really, really asking for the same support you always provided to us, because it just makes the whole event a little bit more inviting. So it's not we're going to, invite those 4 reps to spend 4 hours in the gym and then nothing there. So if you'll be so kind for us to continue with that practice, we really, 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 truly will appreciate it. So right now, like I said, we have about 45 reps. So we usually give those coupons to every single rep, and then to parents who are helping us clearly. And then we also have some students who will be escorting the reps into the classroom, because some colleges will do classroom presentations. So I can't really tell you how many coupons. Well, in the past it would be like 70 plus probably 20, like 90 coupons. Clearly it's not going to be 90 this time because we don't have 70 colleges coming. But wherever the number is, we really truly will appreciate that.
And I believe we do have that in our budget to help you with college.
Perfect. Thank you so very much. And so my last thing about the seniors is that, like I said, so the next 2 weeks are going to be kind of stressful. So I'm glad that we have spring break during those weeks, because I really would like for our students to be with somebody when they open their admission decisions. Some admission decisions already came out. The University of Chicago came out, I think, on Friday at 4:30. Then on Monday will be MIT and Caltech also on Saturday. So some admission decisions will be coming this week, and then next week, and then during most admission decisions are going to come out during the week of spring break. So hopefully your students will not be alone. Hopefully you'll be out celebrating. And then in May, I will do just the presentation of admission decisions on our admission results for the class of 2022, like I always do. So there'll be several slides about that. Does anybody have any questions about? Yes.
Results.
So the SAT, it usually takes about 6 weeks for the College Board to process the results. So if we are going to administer test on April 13th, we will, as an institution, be able to see those results 6 weeks later. However, students usually able to see it within 3 weeks on their own portals on College Board. So students always see it before we see it. So it's usually between 2 and 3 weeks the students can see it. Yes.
Then somebody has a comment, they said that in the past, IMSA would have around 100 reps.
Well, it's not 100, it's about between 70 and 80. Yes.
It's 45.
Well, the registration is not over yet, so we're still positive. We're still positive. Oh, and it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with COVID and nobody's traveling. This is not the IMSA reputation that all of a sudden went south during the last 2 years. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with right now, everybody's insecure. And in fact, in our invitation, we made a point of saying that only vaccinated reps can come to IMSA. I bolded that. So it's not IMSA. My goodness. I mean, I hope this is not the prevalent comment or a notion. This is just a life. I mean, right now people are scared to travel, scared to do anything. Same with colleges. It's not us.
So
Did I answer the question?
Well, actually, question as a parent of a senior. So college decision day, are there going to be done?
So we have a college, the May 1st, that's the official college declaration day in the United States of America. So on May 1, every single college expects from a student to tell the college, yes, I'm attending, or no, I'm not attending. We're going to hold college declaration celebration on May 2nd because it is Monday. So May 1st is Sunday. It will be in person. It's always been in person before COVID. So we ask our students to wear t-shirts, and we, if the weather is good, we take them outside and they draw their names of their colleges and their symbols on the sidewalk that is right here in front of us. So it's a really, really, really cool event. So yes, 4:30 on Monday, May 2nd, College Declaration Day. It's planned to be in person like always. You're very welcome.
Anybody else have any questions for them? Oh, please.
So the main facts, if you can share those
So me, I do a presentation slide by slide. Yes, right. All right. Thank you very, very much. And thank you so much for your support of our college day. It's our probably pride and joy. It's the thing that we love the most that we deliver to our students. So thank you so much in terms of volunteers and then the coupons. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for all you do too. I appreciate it. Okay. So next, Jarda, are you on for updates with the cab? Okay, let me see if he is. Okay, I'm not sure if he is on.
He's probably sleeping after the week he had. He's probably tired.
That is totally understandable. And I'm actually gonna switch, let me see. All right. I'm switching between devices. Okay, so just want to make sure, can everybody hear me? If somebody could just put it in the chat. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we will move on, and if he hops on, then we will definitely welcome him back in. Next, we have some updates from our resident counselors, our RCs. Mia, I'm not sure if she is on the call right now or if we're just sharing her updates. So, let me see. Okay. Mia, if you are on, feel free to jump in, but otherwise I will just share the updates that they've shared with us to give to all of you. So here's some updates from the RCs. They've asked that you please pick up your parent badges from security, and it makes it easier for them to see from a distance that you're supposed to be here, and that you aren't digging through your wallet. So it's very easy. I think all of us here are wearing our badges. All you have to do is stop by the security office, show them your driver's license, and then they'll take your picture and you'll have a handy dandy ID. And on it, it shows your students' names and their ID numbers, their residence halls, and what class they are. So it is very easy for the RCs to see that information. Also, please don't go into the wings when you are entering the halls to pick up your student or drop things off. So far, they've only made exceptions for move-in, but unless explicitly stated, the rule remains the same. So again, dropping off is you just drop off your child and they enter the hall. Well, for signing out, you still have to go in and sign out in the wings, right?
The whole common area, but nothing individual wings.
Yes. So, and if you're feeling generous, their hall vacuums are always breaking. And they do reach out to their higher ups for more vacuums, but during the interim, students are using brooms to clean carpeted areas, which isn't the most efficient way to clean. So if you have vacuums or would like to donate vacuums to the halls, feel free to do that. And they're also super proud of our students. They've been doing a great job so far with Clash and balancing that with their academics and extracurriculars, as well as with following COVID protocols and keeping the community safe. They say keep up the good work for the students. And then also please reach out to the RCs of your hall if you have any questions or concerns. Emails might be better, since if you call the office, they might be busy with immediate student needs during busier times. However, if you need to call the office, the best times to call or to avoid is 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, 9:45 to 10:45 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 3 to 5 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. And the offices are open from 7:30 a.m. to midnight from Monday through Friday, and 10 a.m. to midnight on Saturdays and Sundays. Okay. All right, so I am also going to put out another call for volunteers. So as you guys have heard, we do have a lot of great things coming up in these next couple of months ending the school year. So we do need the help of as many parents and guardians that can help out to make sure that these events go as planned. And obviously, the more people that can help out, the less of the workload for everyone. So that is very, very, very helpful. And I'm saying that so that if you even only have a little bit of time to spare, any help is greatly appreciated. So the biggest areas that do need help, again, senior banquet. This is very important for parents of sophomores and juniors, if you could step up and help out the senior banquet committee, because parents of seniors will be attending. And again, this is the first time that senior banquet will be in person, indoors, in the way that it was pre-COVID for the past couple of years. And as you've heard, it's at capacity. There's a lot of people that'll be in attendance. So again, parents of sophomores and juniors, you help plan this year, and when you're the parent of a senior, you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor and be the one that's celebrated upon. So contact Senior Banquet at imsapac.org if you're able to help out. There is the capability to help out with the planning the day before the event or day of the event to help set up, and also the night of the event to help out during that. So whichever works best for you, what fits in your schedule, just let them know. Also, we have Teacher Appreciation, Staff Appreciation Week coming up. That's May 2 to May 6. The Hospitality Committee usually runs that. So we do ask that you help us to show our appreciation for the faculty and staff at IMSA during that week. There's usually different events that are planned, culminating in a luncheon usually. So we do need help with volunteers to help with executing that. So if you are able to help out, please email us at info@imsapac.org. And then also, as Carrie had mentioned, Luau is a very big thing here. And the Campus Activities Board, I believe, is the one that is running most of it. And the Friday Fest Committee helps to provide the food for that event. So that will take place on campus on May 25. Details are still to come, but if you're able to help out, fridayfest@imsapac.org is who you will contact to volunteer for that event. And then also, again, wanted to pitch our website, because we have a lot of great volunteers that are helping to update this website to give you the information that you've all been asking for. So wanted to let you know too that now the official website address is www.imsapac.org. So you do need to type in the www.imsapac.org to get to it, but it is much shorter than the link that we had before. So as I pointed out in the beginning of our session, if you're interested in putting your name in for the executive board positions, this candidate registration is what you would fill out. And you'll see that as soon as you go onto the homepage. Also, you'll find the session recordings and slide decks on our website as well. And I also wanted to say that we do have a section for IMSA communication. So we have been putting emails sent from IMSA into that section. So we had heard from parents that they're like, there's a lot of emails, and trying to keep straight where all the information is. So we are trying to put those in there for you so that it's an easier place for you to find the different communications that are going on, and they are separated out by general communications, by grade level, and then also by hall. And if you do see an email that or know an email that has not been put on there, feel free to email us at info@imsapac.org, and we'll get that uploaded for you. And then also, if you wanted to donate to the PAC, there's a section there that tells you exactly how to do that. Just wanted to remind everyone, we do appreciate the generosity of those who have donated so far, but it's very, very important that you do put in under the designation that it goes to IMSA PAC General Fund, because that is the only way that it will get to the PAC. So that's why we also ask that you email treasurer@imsapac.org to let us know that you made a donation, so that she can follow up and make sure that those funds do get to where you've earmarked it for. Okay. So the remaining PAC session dates that are coming up, we do meet after College Day. So as Yulia had pointed out, College Day is on Saturday, April 23rd. So we will meet both in person and via Zoom afterwards. And so that's going to be around 1 p.m. after their College Day sessions are. We do invite parents to come and meet with us and visit with us. We will have a spread of food. So those of you who are at home, I'm so sorry you're missing out on. We have a fun food spread from Panera here. And so we'll just have to stuff our faces for you. But also the speaker session to follow is going to be a residential life panel to get some of those questions that you have regarding residential life and RCs during that. And then our final session for this academic school year is on Saturday, May 21st from 10 to 11:30 a.m. And our speaker session immediately following that at 11:30 a.m. is an IMSA alumni panel. As I'd mentioned before, if you do know of IMSA graduates that would like to participate, let us know. Again, this is for you to find out more about what the IMSA graduates do after life at IMSA. Okay, and again, if you wanted to download any of the events that we've talked about, and there are a lot of the events for not only PAC, but for IMSA on the PAC calendar. You can go ahead and save that there. As Katie had brought up, there is a Board of Trustees meeting this Wednesday, so you can follow these links to take you to that website with all the information. Okay, and if you'd like to contact us, the best way is in general info@imsapac.org. And again, all of these ways to get a hold of us. So does anybody have any other questions or comments before we move on to our speaker series? Do we have anything in the chat? Okay, perfect. Okay. Well, again, thank you very much for joining us today for our general PAC session. And next, I'd like to introduce, again, Dr. Comfort Akwaji Anderson, along with the panelists that will be sharing more about the SIR program. Dr. Soumya Anjur, Dr. Dave Duvall, Dr. Brian Trainer, and Kathy Kuntz. So I will leave it to you, Dr. Akwaji Anderson.
All right. Thanks again, Maria. So we are thrilled actually to be here to share information with you. So what we're going to do is we are going to start out by, of course, introducing our Student Inquiry and Research Program, popularly referred to as the SIR program. And so led by Dr. Dave Duvall, Dr. Soumya Anjur, and Dr. Brian Trainer. Our assistant, Ms. Kathy Kuntz, will not be with us today, but the rest of the team is here. So they'll start out by just talking to you all about the purpose of SIR. Then they'll talk about the structure and then student participation. And then we'll get into, once again, answering your questions from the academic PAC survey, and also some of the additional questions that you all had sent to the PAC committee. So we're going to make sure that we answer all of your questions today. So I'm excited and happy to introduce my colleagues here, Dr. Dave Duvall and Dr. Soumya Anjur. I can't see Dr. Brian Trainer, but I'm sure he might be somewhere here. So I'm going to turn it over to them. Oh, here he comes. I'm pretty sure that Dr. Trainer is going to be here in a minute.
Good
Yep,
morning,
so-
everybody. First thing I would ask is, would it be possible for me to be made a co-host so I could share my screen, please?
Yes, let's get you set up there.
Thank you.
Okay, you should be set up now.
All right. Okay, is that showing up for everybody? Can see the slide? Thumbs up? All right, great. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you for inviting us to come and talk a little bit about the SIR program. Originally, we had gotten the survey results from the PAC about SIR, and we were just kind of talk about a few bullet points that came out from that, and then open this up for a question and answer. And then on Thursday, we got additional questions and really kind of got together, huddled up, and thought it would be best to just put a PowerPoint together. Going to go through, I'm going to honor all the 15 questions, so I'm going to go through them all, and we felt like the most efficient way to do that would be to just put them on a PowerPoint, and that way this could also be shared with you by Dr. Akwaji Anderson, if that would work for everybody. I'm sorry, I'm Dr. Dave Duvall and Somia's here. And I heard Brian just joined us too.
I see him.
Okay. So we're the three faculty who manage the SIR program. And we also have an outstanding administrative assistant, Kathy Coons, who just does so much great work for us. And we want to give her a shout out for sure. So the SIR program, just going to give you an overview. And some of you who've seen this, the first few slides, if you've been at perhaps in the past, even a preview day or more recently a parent day, and it just gives an overview. By the way this is going to be organized is there's just an overview of the program. And then we're going to get into a couple of themes from the survey. And then we'll get in and answer those 15 questions specifically. And then there should still be time really for open questions too. It is only open to 11th and 12th grade students. I will address why later. That was actually one of the questions, the 15 questions we got the other day. Why don't sophomores participate? I'll get into that in a little bit. It's very important to realize it's not a graduation requirement. If you complete an SIR, it does show up on your transcript as a pass-fail. And it also shows where you did your SIR, what the topic was, but it's not a graduation requirement. And it does not count, for example, as science credit or math credit towards graduation. And the purpose of the program is really to provide students with an authentic research opportunity, an opportunity to do authentic research that goes beyond what they can do in the classroom. We have very lab-based classes, but still the experiments, they're not ongoing, and it's not really duplicating an authentic research experience, for example, that a graduate student would have. Also, students learn how to communicate their findings in poster form, in abstract form, and in a paper. I'm really, really happy to tell you that this year, the presentations for IMSA, our year-ending conference, research conference, essentially is what it is, on campus. It's April 20th. Although the presentations are still going to be on Zoom, we're going to have an afternoon poster session in the gym, and we're really excited to get back to face-to-face component of our IMSA Day. We're heading in the right direction, right? Some students even publish their research in peer-reviewed journals. That's not an expectation. It's not that common, but it can happen. The structure of SIR, Wednesdays, I-days, I'm sure you're all aware, there are no classes on I-days. There's 3 ways to do an SIR project. You can work with a non-IMSA mentor off campus. Some of our students do that remotely. They stay at IMSA and they work on their project remotely. But a number of our students we're transporting off campus. The number is around 40 or 50 right now. They jump on vans and not actually yellow buses this year. Vans and bus limos this year is what we're using. It's hard to get yellow bus companies because of drivers shortages, but that's a very popular way to do an SIR project is to work with a non-IMSA mentor. And I'll talk a little bit about the places we send students in a minute. Students also could work individually with an IMSA mentor on campus. They might reach out to a faculty or staff member and say, will you be my mentor? And then they're working individually. I know that Somia has some students and I have some students that we're working with kind of in an individual smaller, mine is a group of 3 working together. The third way to do an SIR is to participate in an IMSA SIR course. This is relatively new. This is the 3rd year we've had these. They meet on Wednesdays, and it's just a bigger group. It's kind of like number 2, only it's a bigger group, and it actually, they get SIR credit for taking an IMSA SIR course. This year we have courses in econometrics, molecular modeling, particle physics, and let's see, help me out here, Somia. There's a 4th one I'm forgetting.
You see particle physics?
Yeah.
Okay. I think particle physics, protein structure, molecular modeling, and then I think it was the.
Right. Thank you, Somia. That was protein structure. I forgot. Thank you for jumping in. So we have 4 on-campus courses offered this school year. We've had more in the past. We had fewer last year, we had 3. So SIR occurs on I days. I guess that's redundant. Sorry, I already said that actually. Students can participate in summer SIR. And the reason I wanted to do this overview is this is actually answering some of the questions we got from you. There is summer SIR, and we'll talk a little bit more about the structure of that later on. It's important to realize, and we tell the students this, you sign up for SIR in the SIR office, not the CAC office. This is managed by us in terms of enrollment. I wanted to show you some of the places where we go, and this also might answer some of the questions I saw or comments in the survey. We send students, a very popular destination is Feinberg School of Medicine, Northwestern up in Evanston, University of Chicago, University of Illinois at Chicago. And I really wanted to include UIUC, not because I'm an alumni, that's not why, but to make a point, and that is UIUC is far away. We certainly don't bus students to UIUC on a Wednesday, but this would be an opportunity if a student lived in the Champaign-Urbana area, they might be able to do a summer SIR down in that area. Or if they're working during the school year with a mentor as far away as Champaign or Washington University in St. Louis, that project could be done remotely. So you don't have to be working at a facility that's necessarily within driving distance of IMSA. And I have some other, this is not a comprehensive list of the schools, it's just kind of an overview. We have a great relationship with Fermilab. Fermilab is not allowing our students to come there this year, but we are working with them. We have students working with them remotely. I think the way the world is moving, hopefully next year, I can't speak for Fermilab, but we all have our fingers crossed that next year we'll be back to face-to-face at Fermilab. We have a large number of students who work at Fermilab, a much smaller number at Argonne National Laboratory. Student participation. I'm just going to say that I think the SR team is proud of this. In 2017 and 2018, the management was under a director. It was not a faculty member. And the program had about 30 to 40 students in it. In the spring of 2018, that director left, and that left, at that time, other people had left. There really, people question what's going to happen to the SIR program. There was nobody in the SIR office or Granger in late May, early June. And at the time, Bob Hernandez reached out to me and said, go find the students who are doing summer SIRs and let's keep this thing going. And then the decision was made to change the structure of the management and to have 3 faculty members take over the management. In the very next year, excuse me, the program grew to 185 students just over the summer, if you will. And then by 2019, 2020, we had 230 students in the program. That's over half the junior and senior class in the program. And we were busing almost 120 students on I-days to areas all over the metropolitan, facilities all over the metro area. Of course, we all know what happened in 2020. In the spring of 2020, COVID hit. We went home for spring break and didn't go back for a year and a half, literally. And that did cause our numbers to go down, but not dramatically. We still had 180 students in the program during the entire year of distance learning. All of the projects were remote. We did lose some mentors because some projects you just can't do unless you're face-to-face. If you have to be at a bench doing lab work, and it just, we lost some projects and some mentors at that time due to the pandemic. This year, we're pleased to say it's growing back up again, slowly. This year we have 200 students and we're busing, transporting around 40, 45 students right now to off-campus sites. There are still a lot of students working with off-campus mentors remotely because on their end, on the mentors end, they're not allowing students to come yet. So we just wanted to share the participation numbers with you going back to previous 4 years before this year. So onto this answering your questions, I'm gonna address some things from the community. When we looked at the PAC survey, we tried to look at themes, and I think the biggest theme that came out is there's a lack of communication. And so I'll make a few comments, and like I said, I'm hoping there'll be, I'm sure there's going to be time at the end here for questions, and Somi and Brian will jump in and help me answer those. Hey, we admit communication was more difficult in distance learning mode. There's no way around it. It was entirely via email. Students lost the ability to come and see us in the office and just chat about a project, or how do I find a mentor, go in and ask Kathy questions. They just couldn't come see us face to face. But I think more important than that is they weren't hanging out with each other in the res halls, hanging out with each other in the cafeteria, in the IRC. They weren't communicating with each other as much. And the word of mouth about the SIR program just wasn't there. And we kind of lost that culture, I think. The ability for a sophomore to say, hey, what's that again, to a junior? What is that you do on Wednesdays again? You know, that disappeared. And let me give you an example of a positive outcome now that we're back on campus. A sophomore girl walked into the Granger lab on Wednesday and told me that she had found a mentor at Feinberg School of Medicine. She's going to be starting there this summer, and she's probably going to stay there if all things go well throughout her entire IMSA career. And that happened because another IMSA student's working in that lab. We lost that over the pandemic, but it'll come back, and it already is. Communication issues. So much of our communication is through emails, admittedly, and students get so many of them. We all do, and the emails can just get moved down in their inbox, and they never see the communication. That is a definite problem. Sometimes when we get so many emails. Another comment in the survey was that parents only learn about SIR when their students are juniors. I would like to say that sophomore parents not only can, but they should attend the SIR presentation on Parent Day, so that they're learning about the program along with their students prior to the summer of their junior year. And finally, we communicate with all interested sophomores. There is a Learning Ops Day, which the CACs run. It's in late January, early February, and we do a very short presentation at that time. But 1 week later, on our elective fair day, which is on an I day in early February, we speak with all interested sophomores, and at this time, interested juniors also can join, and we explain the program. We go through, how do you sign up? What's the program about? So we communicate 2 times back-to-back weeks with the sophomores, in addition to follow-up emails about the program. I'll tell you, the whole east side of the gym was pretty much full. The bleachers were pretty much full on the day we did this, of mostly sophomores and some juniors as well. Another thing that came out of it, one particular comment in the PAC survey that struck us was, one comment said that somebody on our team said that a student could not participate in SIR. I've never done that. I've been in the program 4 years. I don't think anybody in the team tells a student they cannot participate. If a student interpreted something we said that way, we apologize. Or if somebody else on campus told them that for some reason, eligibility or something we didn't know about. But I can assure you that we don't turn students away for any reason, unless somebody comes to us and says that student is not academically eligible. That's different. You know, as Somia points out, and so much of this is on the amazing work she does following up with the students. Over the past 2 years, we've had 100% placement. Now, that's of the students we know who wanted to do an SIR. Clearly, there might be students out there who are looking on their own we didn't even know about and never found an SIR. But for the students we were aware of who came to us, we've had 100% placement over the past few years. Okay, on to the questions that were submitted the other day. And there were 15 of them, and I'm going to honor all 15. And that's why I put them on the PowerPoint. It looks like we're just doing okay for time here. One of the questions was, is there any sort of state funding available for this program? And first of all, IMSA is state funded. And so our funding does come from the state. However, in spring of 2020, I had the honor of going with then Principal Bob Hernandez and President Jose Torres and some students down to the Senate Appropriations. And we asked for an additional $600,000 just for SIR to completely move the program forward, hire full-time research faculty, more money for travel, increase our national and international profile, if you will, or exposure. Really moved the program into the next level. It went well, but we were riding home in the van, and little did we know that 4 weeks later, notice this is spring of 2020, 4 weeks later after Senate appropriations, we went home for Easter and never went back for another year and a half. The state was not about to give us $600,000 in the midst of a pandemic. I'd like to see us go back in that direction again, even if it takes a while, as the pandemic gets behind us and things change. But we are funded by the state, but we did make a big ask. I still think we all think big. Would there be an opportunity for sophomores in SAR? We just feel like sophomores have too much on their plate, acclimating to the rigor, acclimating of classes, acclimating to being away from home. And the other thing is they have a lot of important programming already that they do on Wednesdays. Navigation is an example of one. It's also good for them to have that time to go to study sessions, to seek out teachers for help, and really just have a chance to catch their breath in the middle of the week and catch up on homework. That's really the philosophical reason, if you will, why sophomores are not in the SIR program. Is it possible to have SIR resources in areas like green tech, environment, solar? Well, we have students who work at the Arboretum, and that's actually a soil quality experiment. And we have students working with faculty at NIU. That's a water quality research project. We may have other individual projects, but absolutely, that's honoring the UN SDGs is something we not only want to do in our courses on campus, but also a lot of our SIR projects are very much related to the UN SDGs. So absolutely. As far as resources, the question was, where do resources? We do have a budget to order things if students were interested in doing environmental research. They found somebody to mentor them. I guess the answer to that question is absolutely yes. Are there summer programs and how are they arranged? Yes, there are summer programs. Students get credit for SIR in the summer, and they're also expected to present an IMSA loquium. The student finds a mentor and then puts us in touch with the mentor, and as long as the students and mentor agree, then the student can do a summer SIR, and that shows up on their transcript, just like any other SIR. We do expect students to work around 140 hours that summer, and they kind of keep a log of their hours. And it's important to point out that we don't provide transportation in the summer. That leads into the next question, which was a good one. What arrangements for summer SIR for students who live far away? Well, some students find a summer SIR near where they live. For example, what I said before, if a student lives in the Champaign or Urbana area, they may work at UIUC that summer. I'm aware of at least 2 students who live in the Peoria area and did a summer SIR at Bradley. So in the summer, a student could work at a facility near where they live. The other option is if it's a Chicago, let's give an example, it's a Chicago area lab and somebody lives down in Carbondale, it might be possible to do the project remotely that summer. That would be between the mentor and the student. Are there any short SIR options available? And a very short answer to that is summer SIR. Other SIRs are expected to be the full academic year. More SOMIA. I know this is something you and I have talked about a lot. More structure for matching students and mentors. Traditionally, going way back to before we were running the program, part of the process is students searching for and reaching out for mentors. Now we give them guidance, help them with the emails, and step in as we can and as needed. But part of the process is for them to decide, this is what I'm interested in, and reach out. And I tell them, if you're interested in biochemistry, look up the biochemistry departments in area universities, area labs, look up the faculty, read a couple of their papers. And if you're interested, let us know and we'll help them structure an email to that mentor.
I want to add that, and of course I talked to you parents about this the last time, I think, that one of the things that we are still continuing to work on is to broaden the involvement of our diverse students, especially Black and Hispanic students. So this relates to this question that you have. So we want to involve you all. I know that some of you have been really gracious to send us some ideas and things like that. We really, really want to make sure that we broaden the scope. So if you know of any diverse mentors that we can use, you know, we want mentors of all backgrounds, but we're trying to be intentional. So I just wanted to make sure I reiterate that here. Thank you.
Thank you, Comfort. We 100% agree. Can IMSA involve alumni in the program? Well, absolutely, and we do. We have alumni currently, right now, who are mentors. We also have alumni who have reached out to help us in different ways other than being mentored. We had one alumni reach out to us wanting to mentor students, and it turned out his area of expertise really lended itself much better to the biz intern program down in Into, so we sent him that way. And oh, absolutely, having alumni involved is something we want. How are mentors selected? This gets back to the previous slide, and also how what Comfort jumped in and said. It's largely by students. Obviously, on campus, students can walk up to a faculty or staff member and say, "Would you work with me?" But also off campus. Over time, the off-campus mentor list grows, and a lot of mentors work with our students on a continuing basis. The example of the sophomore girl who came into the Granger lab the other day, you know, she was going to continue on a project that another IMSA student was already working on. That's a very traditional way of running a lab in graduate school. You know, graduate students and postdocs rotate in and out, and we like to see the same thing happen with our students, rotating in and out of a lab and continuing on with the same kind of project. I'm going to go back to what the last year there was a director. Some things happened and we lost a lot of mentors. Our numbers were low, but it's building back up. And you saw the numbers of participation numbers, and we're very positive about that direction we're heading. This is important. Off-campus mentors are background checks, all of them. Even if they're an alumni, they are background checked. Our students are minors. They're not graduate students. They're not postdocs. They're not IMSA faculty or staff who've already been background checked. Every single one of them are background checked. How are mentors trained? And I'm just going to say the vast majority of the mentors are professors, faculty members who work with graduate students and postdocs, and they have a lot of experience. We don't feel like we need to jump in and train them in any way. Now, do we set expectations with the mentors? Of course, that's different than training them, I think. Expectations are conveyed at the beginning of the mentorship in terms of two important things: attendance and communication. And we try to tell the mentor, off-campus mentor especially, you cannot excuse the student from coming. If the mentor can't be there or is at a conference and they can't be there, so our student can't go, that's understandable, but our students can't ask a mentor not to go. It's up to the SIR office to be in control of attendance and grades, not our off-campus mentors. And so, but yes, of course, we do have expectations for mentors. Can IMSA partner with local hospitals and clinics? All right, I would say our #1 destination, other than Fermilab, is Feinberg School of Medicine. And we also have had students at Rush, Northwestern Proton Center, I believe that's right in Naperville, right off 88, Loyola Medical Center, UIC. Biomedical projects are the most popular, and many of them are off campus. And so absolutely, this is a big part of the program is biomedical research on site or remotely with facilities like I just listed. Can we conduct SIR panel discussions every semester with PAC to build networking relationships with professionals? Well, I don't think I'm the one to answer that because I can't speak for my colleagues or the principal's office or student life. I think, and I don't know if it'd have to be every semester, perhaps once a year, but I think this is more of than me saying, giving an answer saying this could be discussed, how this could be structured.
Good answer, Dave.
Thank you. I thought long and hard about that one, by the way. All right. What opportunities are there for parents to partner with this program? Well, I would say a big way would be to be a mentor. There have been parents who are mentors. It's not even impossible for you to mentor your own student. A young man approached me about that this past Wednesday. He came into Granger Lab. And another big thing would be to put us in touch with potential members. There's a precedent for both of these, for parents to do both of these. Opportunities for sophomore parents to be involved pre-SAR, I would say it's the same as the above. If you know potential mentors, reach out to us. If you're interested in being a mentor, let us know. Just because your student is a sophomore and isn't in the program yet, there's no reason you couldn't do either of those two things. Or if you just have questions about the program during your student's sophomore year, make sure they know they can always come see us, but also you can come see us as well, or email us or call us. And I think that's it. Thank you very much. It does look like there's some time for questions, and Brian and Soumya, I'd appreciate it if you would jump in.
Yeah, the two of them have been answering a lot of questions in the chat too. So
Okay.
I encourage everyone to look at that. But yeah, what questions do you have for the team? If you're asking a question, we can't hear you.
Yes, he's coming over.
Okay, good.
If a junior is doing SAR right now, they want to continue that research? Can they do it in the summer and then in senior year, or do they have to pick up something new, or like what's kind of the process for an existing junior in that situation?
It's totally up to the student. If they want to continue the same project, they can do so in summer and they can do so in senior year as well. And if they want to change their project, that's also possible for them to do. They just need to let us know. Sorry.
So I just wanted to ask as well, if there's anything, Dr. Trainer, Dr. Anjar, that you saw in the chat that you wanted to share with everyone else that you think would be helpful for them to know? Any questions that you came across?
Right.
Dr. Anjar, I think you should, the question about how students apply and the process, I think you need to address that.
Sure, I can address that. Sorry for my clearing my throat, but usually students just approach us in the SIR office, and then I usually I give them a draft email template. First, ask about the interest. Where do they want to do? Have they found a mentor? If they have not found a mentor, then I ask them what their area of interest is. And I usually sit down with them and help them find like a research page of a faculty in an area that they're interested in. And we always provide that kind of help to them. Once they have narrowed down the mentor after reading like through the page and seeing if, like for example, neuroscience, they want to work on like memory or, like something with neural circuits or whatever it is. Then once they've found that, we narrow down like the mentors, they usually do it on their own. And then once they have identified somebody, they come to us, we give them a draft email template, which they then send back to us. The reason we edit that is because we want the email to look professional. I mean, kids usually, mostly I get kids writing about themselves, like what they did and everything. They don't mention why they want to work with this particular mentor or how they're qualified to work with them. So we advise them to like do that so that it looks nicer and more professional. And we also want the students, like for the student safety, we also like everything, all the communication to external mentors to go through us. So that way we can always step in if there's something that's not appropriate or whatever. So, and once the kid has picked out a mentor, then they usually send the email to us and we edit it. Then the student sends it back to the mentor, CC's the SIR office. That way we know what's going on. And once the mentor says they can work with them, then we register them, send a welcome email to the mentor, welcome email to the student, put them in our SIR Canvas classroom for the year. And then they have all we tell them what to do for the rest of the year. We have like little deadlines throughout the year, like, abstract, proposal, introduction, annotated bibliography, and eventually it ends up with like a paper that they submit in May. And they will also have a presentation and a poster in April, which is what we're heading toward 20th. So yeah, sometimes students are confused about how to do this. So we are very happy to sit with them and help them go through like actually narrow down a mentor. Sometimes it so happens, I'm sorry, I say sometimes a lot, but it also happens that they talk to upperclassmen, and we encourage them to reach out, especially to seniors who are graduating. So their mentors sometimes want, like, not sometimes, they always like our students to be in their lab. So there's an opportunity for potential juniors and seniors to also be in that lab. So we encourage them to reach out to that. And we also encourage everybody to go, like the kids to go on the SIR webpage. We have examples of previous projects there in the IMSA Locum booklets from previous years. So taking a look at that, they kind of get an idea of what kind of thing they want to do. Names of the mentors are also there, so they can reach out there directly as well. Sorry for talking so long.
And actually, I want to add something. Somebody, that was great. I want to add one important thing. We only want students to reach out to a mentor one at a time. We don't want them to send out 5 emails to 5 potential mentors. And there's a very good reason for that. It's happened before, and a student gets put in a position where maybe 2 mentors say, sure. And then here's our student in the SIR program put in the position of telling a faculty member, perhaps at University of Chicago, oh, no, we're not coming now. So we ask students to reach out one at a time. That's really very important.
Yeah. I just noticed a question. Dr. Andrew has already answered, but I want to add something to it. It said, do sophomores get the opportunity to listen to the SIR project presentations by seniors, juniors, and when are this? So thanks, Dr. Andrew, for responding to that question. One of the things that we're working on is to, because we know that a lot of you are asking questions about how come the sophomores can't participate. And I know that the team, thank you team, you did great. The team responded to that question. We are being intentional about the success of our sophomores. That's why we don't overwhelm them with this. However, one of the things that we are discussing and we're going to be doing is we're looking at the students who are taking MSI. And so in other words, we're thinking about, okay, by the time they leave IMSA, we would love for all of our students to have some kind of research experience. And so we're doing some backward planning and looking at where can we start giving them those opportunities to engage in research. And so if they're taking MSI, the team and I, we're actually looking at how we can give them opportunities to present, to actually present at upcoming, we're still trying to figure out how we can attach that to IMSA Locum because it's already so huge, but we are planning on having the students actually present their projects. And we know that their projects, MSI projects will be at a different level, but that's kind of like a proactive approach to engaging them in research so that by the time they get to their SIR projects and that kind of thing, they would have already acquired some great skills. And so stay tuned, we'll give you more information related to that. But I just thought that this was a good place to share some of that. Let's see, what other questions? Are there any other questions that we can respond to?
I have a question.
Okay.
Do you guys have a process for actually monitoring that the SIR programs are meeting your expectations? Because, I mean, this presentation sounds awesome. It bears no connection whatsoever to the reality that I've seen with, my own student and a couple other parents I've talked to. I mean, maybe their experiences were aberrations, but it looks nothing like this.
We can't really monitor the projects off campus because we can't be in those labs and see what they're doing. But students are writing us progress reports. They give us abstracts, they give us proposals, and we also talk to them on Wednesdays when they go off campus to ask how their project is going. And, whether they need any help, whether they need us to talk to the professor for anything. usually most students are pretty good about communicating with us if there is an issue or if something is not going right. And we have addressed a
None of
few of those.
that's happening in the on-campus SR. And
On-
none of that. If I ask my student, what is the purpose of this and what's the end goal and what are you researching, and he has no idea. He just goes to meetings every Wednesday. Does a little computer programming. That's it.
Cameron,
sorry.
thank you for mentioning that, because without you saying that, we don't know that that's actually happening. So that's something that we'll look into. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Because for on-campus, we usually rely on our on-campus mentors to tell us if something is going on.
Yeah.
So please encourage your student to come talk to us if something like that is happening, so we are aware. But thanks for bringing it up.
Yep.
Yeah,
So we have, go ahead, Dave. We have a question.
Okay, just to follow up on what somebody said, hopefully, there are 200 students in the program, and there are going to be some probably that for reasons we don't know aren't going as well as others. We want to go for 100% awesome experience. Absolutely. But please, I know in pre-pandemic, one group who was working at a university came to us and said, this just isn't working. We just sit there and they're not having us do anything. And we got them out of that SIR and got them into something new in the spring. If the students communicate with us, we can do something about it. Other than that, we can't monitor 200 projects very easily, but please encourage the student to communicate with Brian, Somia, or myself about that kind of issue, because that's how we learn about it. And not only off campus, but even on campus. So thank you for that very much.
Yeah.
Well, I think that the problem is, I don't know that the students, like as a parent, I had no idea what to expect from the program. Then we had COVID, right? And so, I mean, at this point, my student's a senior and who cares, right? I don't know what the point is at this point, but if the students don't have a clear idea of what to expect from the program, they don't know to tell you that it's not working the way it should. Frankly, there's more information in this presentation than I have ever seen in 3 years as a parent. So I don't know how, I think it's important that the juniors entering it and the sophomores thinking about it understand what the expectations are. If they don't, then this will, I understand you can't monitor especially all these independent programs, but they need to have a clear list of what to expect and what it should look like. If they don't have that, then you'll continue to have a problem where no one says anything to you because they don't know.
Again, thank you so much, Cameron. We needed that feedback, and that's going to help us to refine the program. We always want to be very intentional about what students are getting from their classes. I know that that's one of my goals. And so thank you for sharing that. The team and I will discuss that, and then we'll of course, we'll continue to engage with you, because you know something that we don't know, so that we can all do something about it. So thank you so much.
I do apologize. I'm going to step away from this one, but can everybody still hear me? Okay. So just wanted to thank Dr. Comfort Akwaji Anderson and our panelists today, Dr. Anjur, Dr. Duvall, Dr. Trainer, for taking the time to tell us more about the SIR program and answer questions. And if I could just ask Dr. Duvall, what's the best email address for them to reach out to if they have additional questions?
SIR@imsa.edu.
Okay, thank you very much. SIR@imsa.edu.
Yeah, Brian just put it in the chat. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you. And Dr. Duvall, if you wouldn't mind sending the presentation to us, and we can add it when we send out the slide deck.
Yeah.
As well.
I'll send my presentation to you also, Maria.
Okay, thank you very much.
Maria, who am I sending that to specifically?
You can send it to info@imsapac.org.
Okay.
Maria?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to make one comment, because my son participates, in an SIR. He's a junior. And I wanted to really the only reason I stuck on the line was because I really wanted to thank you guys, because he does an individual SIR that he wanted to do wind. And I wanted to just tell sophomore parents that if their kid has an idea, that they should have them contact an engineering person or someone in bio, that you shouldn't really rely on the school to just make their to pick an SIR for them. The idea I got from the SIR is that it's a student instigated research, meaning that it's giving your student an opportunity to say, hey, I want to do this. He saw wind turbines on campus that weren't being used, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to ask the engineering person. So I respect that there are people that really wanted their kids in an SIR and said, oh, well, they can just sign up for this. But I would urge sophomores and juniors that aren't involved, parents, to say, hey, you can go and just ask a teacher, go ask the SIR people, because he's really enjoying it. And they do tell him, set up a schedule, and how much is it going to cost? And, all of these, I was really impressed, and I visited this week, and it's unbelievable what he's doing. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that feedback. And I do apologize to everyone that is hearing feedback. My one laptop is dying, so I'm trying not to turn it off since it's the main one that has it. But again, I wanted to thank all of you that came and joined us on the call today. And also, again, for the SIR panelists for sharing the information. I know there were a lot of questions about internships, and I do apologize. I was supposed to add a slide there. I will send out that information when I send the recap, but there are ways for parents to also give information about internships, and we will have Sue Fracano, who is in charge of that program, who will join us for the May meeting. Okay, so with that, again, thank you, everyone. Have a great afternoon, and hope to see you at our April session. Good afternoon. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.